Hi, I'm Anthony Martin from MRTN Architects, and I'm presenting our Frankston mid-century modern project, which is located in Victoria. This project's located in Frankston South. It's high on the hills you leave Frankston going towards Mount Eliza, and it's located on a generously sized allotment of 850 square metres. No heritage, vegetation or bushfire overlays on the site, so there was no requirement for a planning permit, and there was no necessity to save the property. But we did. My clients purchased the house by auction in 2016. They'd not been looking for a mid-century house to restore, but in storybook fashion, they fell in love with it once they'd seen it. The house was in really pretty poor condition when they bought it. It had little or no maintenance over the past 20 or 30 years. The original architect was Jack Clark of Clark Hopkins Clark. He was an architect, but he was also a player for Essendon and a coach for Essendon. And he was also a director of the Small Age Home Services. The house was designed for the Glury family. Mr. Glury was his structural engineer, Brian Glury. They raised 5 children in this house, and the property was only sold when Mrs. Glury moved on to a retirement home. This is the existing rear of the house and front of the house down the bottom, as we found it. And inside, some changes have been made over the years, but really not a whole lot, and there's a lot that needed to be attended to. The early stages of the design process and in conversations with Reese and Laura, we focused very much on the house as it was and the work that we could do to the house rather than extending or adding to it. The useful part of this conversation was to find precedents that might inform the direction of the design. The original design was fairly basically built with the materials that were available at the time. But we had discussions regarding what may have been precedents for Jack Clark at the time, and we centred a lot on Californian mid-century projects, particularly ones that have been photographed by Jill Shulman. Through this process, we found many parallels in the work of the architects working in California. Projects such as the Hayes Residence by Raymond Kapp not only shared visual references, but also helped give us some direction for some of the shortcomings of the existing design. Namely, there was a lack of connection to the outdoor living space and not much connection to the garden also. There's also a limited and fairly rudimentary materials that were found in the interiors of the house, and we were looking to upgrade that as part of our work. The Jack Clark plan clearly locates the living spaces to the north and the bedrooms to the south, with a services block in between. The plan is then rotated to the north, and it gives a clear break with the typical planning and siting found in the street, where the living room wing extends to create an exaggerated carport. The original plan, the kitchen divided 2 meal areas. A swimming pool was added at some stage in the 80s, and a bar was introduced off the living room. Our proposed plan, the only additional area was adding an ensuite off the main bedroom and to extend the bedrooms to the south to the extent of the existing roof eaves. In section, there was a fairly significant change that we reversed the pitch of the roof to create a compliant ceiling height to the bedrooms, and also to adjust a leaking pop-up roof over the central bathroom, which incorporated it into the roof pitch, but retained this really wonderful feature of having natural light deep into the middle of the plan. The new west-facing wall reuses the bricks from the demolition, and a hidden brick screen wall creates privacy to the new ensuite. It also protects it from afternoon sun. We did propose some significant changes to the landscape, where we created a north-facing terrace for our outdoor living, something the original house did not have. We removed the swimming pool and worked closely with SBLA landscape architects to create an integrated landscape design. From the approach, the house is unchanged. The entry canopy celebrates the arrival and the car. Internally, however, a new material palette was selected to complement the existing red brick found internally, but also used to upgrade the interior finishes of the home so it was closely aligned to the Californian precedents that we had been looking at. Lino, plasterboard and formica was replaced with terracotta tile, cedar and American walnut veneer. The new outdoor living terrace to the north becomes a semi-public space. It's visible from the house and also connected and visible to the street. The entry adjacent to the services court between the living and bedroom rings remain largely unchanged. But we define the services core so that it was clear in plan and also clear through its material differentiation. We introduced vertical western red cedar ship cladding to surround this area. The kitchen was then rotated to face the new terrace, and big windows over the island opened onto this terrace. We used black American walnut veneer for its appropriateness to the narrative developed, as were the terracotta tiles. Although orientated to the north, the original house had little northern connection and glazing. Now the kitchen and dining areas connect to outside and receive abundant natural light. The living room was restored with its 80s bar removed, and we did add a rather contentious coral-coloured carpet. The bathroom in the centre of the plan was replanned and integrated into the corridor. The pop-up roof provides natural light into the core of the plan, and a large sliding door blurs the corridor to bathroom. The main bedroom is connected by the corridor, but also opens up into the sunroom, which can be opened up and closed down depending on the conditions and weather. This is the ensuite that's added to the west. You can see the brick screen wall through the window there. The room that was originally called up as a screened porch and at some point became fully enclosed becomes this west-facing sunroom. That can be closed off from the rest of the house through insulated glass doors or opened up and that passive heat allowed to circulate inside during winter. To the south, the original window frames were relocated into the new south-facing wall and fitted with glazing. The home is now much loved and sits within its landscape and is suited for the next family and for their lives for many years to come. Thanks. And the project we'd like to nominate is Glass House by Claire Cousins, which is located in Collingwood, and I find it's a fantastic contribution to pretty gritty streetscape. All right, thank you.